And now, get ready. Welcome to CatSpan with your host, Pat and co-host, Nikki Henning. It's just another day on the journey, so grab a drink, to eat, and hang with them for a while as they walk down memory lane.
Okay, you are live.
Hey everybody, welcome to CatSpan Live. This week we have turned the tables on Kat, and she's so busy asking everybody else stuff. We're gonna ask her stuff this week. We want to figure out how she started, what made her want to start, what's the best thing she's ever done, how does she feel, all kind of stuff. Anything you want to ask, come into the chat room, type your questions, and we're gonna make sure that she answers everything you want to know, plus what I want to know too. All right?
Oh no.
Oh. Oh yes. Oh yes.
Oh no.
Oh yes. It's your turn now, ma'am. It's your turn now. I'm gonna go on and just start out with my first question. What made you want to be, for lack of a better term, what made you want to be who Cat Beach is today?
That's a loaded question, Nikki.
Aha.
This is payback for all those moments in the gym. Okay.
Oh yes. Oh
so
yes.
Let's get
It's
real
gonna
for
get better.
Actually, no, there's a kind of succinct answer to that. It's there have been so many people. Tom has asked this on many occasions. Beth Rattray, Beth Wilson. There have been many people who've worked with me on my website and just on my journey in my career. And they said, kind of what is that thing that makes you want to share even my darkest, most difficult times, my music, what is it? And it's the message in the music. It's the message in my life. It is, I don't see myself as bigger or better than anybody. I see myself as somebody who has gone through some really, my life has ebbed and flowed, and I've gone through some peaks and some valleys. And instead of staying quiet about it, I've learned in my life that the people who are quiet about it don't resolve things and they don't get through things. So I've termed myself as the voice of change, not because I have this wonderful brilliance about how to fix it all. It's because if I'm honest about what I've gone through, I think it allows other people to have an opportunity to be honest about what they've gone through and know that they're not alone. So what fuels me? What's that gasoline that I keep throwing on the fire? Everything I'm going through, I want to share with you. And if I'm sharing with music, that's one thing. Or Nikki, you and I getting on here at CatSpan to share other people's worlds and my world at the same time, that's important to me. I think that in the world today, people are starting to open up about their journeys, and if we can chat more about what we're going through, people aren't alone, and we have an opportunity to heal. So that's kind of the long and the short of it. The voice of change is what I put on my very first website. Actually, was that right, Tom? Tom did my very first website, and I think I termed it as the voice of change because I want to be honest so that people have an opportunity to change. And so it actually kind of peeks into, early on in my life, I went through a lot of dark times, and I constantly wanted people to feel like they weren't alone. And I feel like I'm rooted in compassion for people. And so that's kind of the long and short of that, Nikki. I could go on for about a good hour, but if I do, we're going to be in trouble. You won't be able to ask the other questions.
Okay.
So it's to help people.
To help people? Okay, I can understand that.
Hey, you guys, there are some folks in the chat room, and you've got a couple questions.
Hi, everybody.
You have a question.
Guys.
There's a James Michael Miller, and there's a Beth Rattray, and she says, "Hey, Kat, tell us about the song Win and the remix. We love it."
Oh, yay. Hoorah. Okay, Win. I wrote Win with Ned Albright in Los Angeles. And it actually Win and get after it and go to work. are 3 songs that it was a trilogy. We put them all together for a health and wellness seminar series. And When, so important to me because it really talks about the second verse talks about, you get knocked down once, you get up and fight again. And my life, going along with what you said, Nikki,
That's actually my favorite part of that song, by the way.
It's a good one. It feels
is
good because it feels like what we've all gone through, right?
It does.
So when I'm in love with the song because it makes me feel, even when I do my workouts, it makes me feel like, you know what, that is kind of a version of my life in one song. Interesting, if you go back and listen to When in its original, it's a little more, it's tempered down, it's wonderfully produced. I had people like Leland Sklar, Ned Albright, Herman Matthews, having some great people who did When out in Los Angeles. And then I thought, you know what if I created something that had a little more beat to it and something that would feel more energetic. And so Beth asked about the remix, and it's selling very well, and it's jumping up there. Matter of fact, it's what put gosh, I can't remember the number I was on Reverb Nation, but now I'm ranked 2 for the fact that I put the rock remix on.
Wow, nice.
Isn't that wild? It was like boom. But
for those of you all that haven't heard it, go online. You can actually see the line dances and everything. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's the truth.
Sorry.
It's the truth.
Didn't mean to interrupt.
No, thank you for interrupting. It talks about winning and the energy that Chris Crane brought to it. The new one, he did a hip hop remix. He did a pop remix and a rock remix. And all of these were just to give a little oomph, because I thought, wouldn't this be great if we put it in a stadium? I wanted to give it to maybe the Titans or
that would be awesome.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Because it really, it starts in a locker room. Matter of fact, the song starts in a locker room. And a lot of my life has been music, and it's been fitness, and it mended them perfectly. Ned Albright's life has been fitness and music. And so it's been fantastic, and I've really enjoyed the moment. So thank you for bringing that up, Beth.
I like how the song says, I win, you win, we win. Like, as with the saying, how you saying that you're the voice of change, you're like, not only am I going to win, but you're going to win, and we're all going to win together. It's like, I'm telling you, anybody that hasn't heard this song, you are missing out. Please go and download the song.
Amen, sister. I win, you win, we win. Hey, I win, you. Yeah, that's right.
Sorry, you're taking me out. Taking me out of character, man. You're making me do too much.
Talk for 5,000 hours. Okay.
You got some more people in chat now. By the way, there's Ritmo Carib Promotions. Hi, Jimmy Castro here.
Oh, it's Jimmy. Hey, Jimmy.
New fan of Cat Beach. Tom Vernon, what prompted you to do the remixed versions of these songs? And James Michael Miller, which I believe it's Sherry using that account, is what I understand.
Yes, James Michael, yeah.
Kat needs some thoughts on getting back up after getting knocked down. Sherry loves you.
Oh, Sherry, you're
And
sweet.
then Tom said, you just answered my question, which is good. And then he said, right on, Nikki. So you're getting some great feedback in the chat today. This is great. So
I love that.
Great, good stuff.
Let me answer the first one. Why did we do the remixes? The remixes are because we wanted to have a broader audience. We did Does This Groove Make My Butt Look Big? And all of the 3 remixes were When. And fun. And so we wanted to give it a little more dance remix. So what we took what was a mid-tempo song and we made it an up-tempo song, and that's why we did it. And Chris Crane is remarkable. I mean, he's one of he back in the day did some remixes for Madonna, and he is just a rare bird, and he hears things that very few people hear, and so he'll twist it and turn it and make it fun. And so that's why we did the remixes, and because when you're in a stadium and you're, let's just say you're in a football stadium and you have a halftime song come on, or if you're in I don't know, what are some other ice hockey?
Or you got the last quarter of the game, you got 5 seconds left, both teams are tied, and it's your turn to rally. That's when you put the song on.
That's when it comes on. It's got to have power that will lift an entire arena. And mid-tempo doesn't always do that. Matter of fact, never. But an up-tempo song will, that has all these little elements everywhere. So that's where that was. Sherry, very, very important. You said, give me some tips on picking you up when you feel like you're down. Sherry, and Sherry's a dear friend who I have not seen in a number of years. Sherry, it's tough because there are a couple things that I have put into my life. And Nikki knows this as a co-host, that are super duper important. If I need to do, and I'm seeing Tom do some sort of crazy thing, I'm trying to actually be serious.
Trying not to laugh, Kat. You shouldn't have said that.
No, I know. No, this is a very serious moment.
Okay.
When you feel like you're at the bottom and you can't get back up, and you can only, there are many things you see out there where you can only crawl. The truth is sometimes you can only crawl, and you're going to listen to these things, Sherry, that say, I got this, get up at 5 a.m. and stay up late until blah, 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 blah. You're going to hear those all over the place. And you're going to see all of these commentaries that say, you got this no matter what. Sometimes it's okay to be beautifully broken. I can say that very honestly. It's okay to lay in your bed, be completely broken, and not know how to get up. That's okay. You've got to allow yourself the time to go through that. It's the people who bust through 100% and they don't do the work to fix what is broken that really, they keep going back through the cycle. You're never going to get through it until you actually do the work. And what do I mean by doing the work? That means opening up a journal. That means you didn't get up today and it was a crappy day and you felt uncomfortable and miserable. You didn't even want to take a shower. That means somehow, some way through the day, I don't care if it's 3 p.m. I don't care if it's you got to work and it's after work. You sit down with your journal and you do a conscious stream of thought. There are no periods. There are no exclamation points. There are no questions. You just, whatever. You can say eggs, dogs, food, dirt outside. I feel really crummy. I hate my this. And it somehow, some way, that stream of thought will begin to make sense. You just continue to write. Do it every day. Make it a point in your day that you do. It's journaling every day. And that has been something that's helped me in some of the darkest times. And trust me, Sherry, I have gone through some really tough, challenging times. I have some great friends around me who have been powerful. There's incredible power in laughter, even when it's really, really dark. Try to find some people around you that make you laugh for whatever purpose, even if it's stupid laughter. Maybe dial something up on the internet. Stupid laughter's fine. Just get those endorphins rolling. And walk, Sherry. You never, ever underestimate the power of getting your physical body moving. You must do that. That's very, very important. So those are my 3 tips. Journal, journal, journal. You have to get it out of here and onto paper. Onto paper, right there. And Sherry, I love you to death, and I wish you good all the time, or I wish you well. Good, well.
Yes.
Never said I was great at grammar, people. No.
Can't spell either, but everybody don't know that.
Hey, I've got spell
it's the
check.
truth.
It is the truth. You know what? It is the truth. I cannot spell. There, now the world knows. I try.
That's what this is about. The world, the people want to know. See? That's what this is all about. The everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And the fact that you can't spell is part of the ugly, but I mean, hey, this is what the people want to know. Okay.
No, I can't spell.
Okay, I got another question. Another question. Normally, when people do things like you with the music and the theater and musical theater and everything like that, you follow in other people's footsteps. Is there anybody else in your family that does this also? Is there anybody else that's done something theater-wise? Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, yes. Another moment of truth. Actually, my Uncle Bill was an incredible actor. And interestingly enough, and he's no longer with us, he passed on, but he was a jack of all trades, ridiculously intelligent, but he was in Oliver Stone movies.
Really?
He was in Wall Street and Born on the 4th of July and a couple others. And this is an interesting moment too. He suffered from a lot of things, one of which were some issues with addiction, and conquered them before he died, which was really brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big moment.
Takes a strong person.
All through his life was just interesting for me to watch. And so, yeah, that was somebody that I looked at and went, wow, because he was fearless. Now, was he fearless because of certain things that he was taking? I don't know, but he was also tremendously talented. I'll never take that away from him. Very talented. My cousin Gardner Knight out in LA is a music producer and has what we call a golden ear. He engineered my first album and mastered it. And let's see, Doc Knight, my other cousin, is a music producer and did,
Wow.
This is all around me. He did production for a person called Yoshiki in Japan, who was a perfectionist amongst all performers and tremendous. Like, you're working 4 days straight in a row, don't sleep. And Doc did that, and also has a golden ear. Both Doc and Gardner were just
Wow.
tremendous. Gardner still
Streaming.
does it. Doc is out of it. And Gardner's father was Bill. And I'm trying to think, my mom loved to sing. She never made a success out of it career-wise, but she certainly did love. Matter of fact, I used to sing in the living room with her all the time. I mean, countless evenings of absolute absurdity, but we sang every musical theater performance, from Showboat to They're Playing Our Song to, I don't know, Les Mis to Annie. I don't know. Can you imagine?
Did you stand in front of the crowd with your little hairbrush?
That's no joke. Don't make fun of that. It's me.
Kat has a funny story related to Summertime.
Who does?
You do.
Apparently you do.
The song Summertime.
Oh,
Don't
no,
you have
who
a funny
sang
story? Wasn't that something where you were at a restaurant and you got...
Oh.
Uh-oh, this is going to be good.
Who is bringing this up? Is that Michelle? Oh, Lord have mercy. I've forgotten about this. Yeah, I did Summertime. This is horrifying. Okay, so what did I do first? Okay, so I'm in Miami and I hadn't performed for a long time. And it was Michelle Dubuque who said, Kat, and I had had a couple cocktails. So I would just sit in the living room, still as an adult, mind you. I was in the fitness world, but this incredible, I owned a gym in Miami, but this incredible desire to get back into music was just bubbling. So what do I do every night with my hairbrush? Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, laugh all you want. Me and sometimes Michelle would sit and my Pekingese Bugsy at the time would just sit and be my audience. So every, Summertime, every Barbra Streisand hit you could imagine, ridiculous. So here I'd had a couple of, I think it was vodka and water or wine.
Knowing you, it was vodka water.
Yeah, you're correct. She said, that's it, Kat. And you'll know this place, Tom. Right down on Hallandale Beach Boulevard. It's a piano bar. And she said, that's it, Kat. We're going now. I said, no, we're not. I haven't performed in years. She said, get in the car. And I said, oh, Lord. She said, you're going to do two. You're going to do Evergreen. And then you're going to do Summertime. And she said, or the opposite way around, but you're going to go up there and you're going to sing in front of all these people. So it's a little piano bar.
Oh my gosh.
And right off of Hallandale Beach Boulevard. And I got up, and so the pianist is there, and I said, I'm going to do, and mind you, back in the day, I was, before my bodybuilding experience, and that's a whole nother story, but I was a soprano. And so there I am. Yeah, I know. And so I'm an alto, and so I had to learn, it's a whole nother experience. So I had to learn new music. And as I go in, I say to him, do you know Evergreen? Of course he knows Evergreen. I mutilated. I didn't just sort of mutilate the song. That was my go-to song. I always did it well. It was, every high, every low, I just really, Barbra Streisand and I were close. And I mutilated. It was the biggest flop, fall on your face kind of, oh
my God.
And Michelle's, yes, Nikki, this is hysterical. It would be like you sitting in the back corner going, maybe this was a bad idea. This was a bad choice. We should not have allowed her to do this. I'm not sure how this is going south. Anyways, I finished the song. Everybody's like, could somebody shut her up? And so I went down, I got a cocktail. I said, Michelle, this was your fault. You made me do this. Now I made a complete beep out of myself, and I can't rebound. She goes, "Summertime, Kat, summertime." I said, "Not a chance." She said, "Get up there and do summertime." I said, "Okay. This is going to go south too, but I'm going to get up there and do summertime. I'll need a shot of something." So I did. No, this is no joke. The guy looked at me. The pianist is like, "We're not going to do another round of this, are we? You've already made a complete jack blank of yourself." I said, "No, no, summertime. It's it. Please, please." And I looked at him. I said, "Please allow me to do this so I can redeem myself. I'm mortified." And he looked at me like he had some sort of love in his heart. And so this is the first time yeah,
Oh.
no, right, Nikki? No, where is me? It was embarrassing. I'm dead serious because the audience is like, "Oh no, don't let us see it."
Did they throw tomatoes?
And yeah, if they had tomatoes, I would have had one on my forehead because um, listen, Evergreen's a tough song. Barbara Streisand can knock it home, but okay, I did not. I knocked it into the grave. Anyway, so I looked down, sitting on the piano bench. I'll never forget it. And it had been years. I mean, remember, I performed almost every week, 3 times a week for years, and then stopped. Okay. And so there was, all the way through high school, I was musical theater, performing, classical theater, all of it. And then I did, and dancing, and then I did nothing. So anyways, I sat on the piano bench, and I looked down, and I prayed. And I thought, "Dear Lord, please don't make me make it out of myself." And summertime was always my happy space in the blues experience. And so he started it. And I thought, you know what? If I'm going to knock something out of the park, I better do it now. And I am not kidding you when I tell you there was something that came into my lower gut. Something was like, woo, and it came up on me. I knocked the song. And I rarely say this because I'm not full of myself that way, but I knocked the socks off the song. To people in the other room, because there were 2 sides of the room, people in the other room came in to the side to see who was that who was singing. Like, that can't possibly be the same girl. And really, it was like a redeeming moment. Like, really, I just completely screwed this up and made it out of myself. So let's do what I can. That was a good moment, and I'll not forget that one because it was where I had gone completely down, and I thought, you know what, I'll do it. And I owe Michelle Dubuque a big thank you for that because she dragged me kicking and screaming.
Wow.
So that's
So
so
you
fun.
so you say you performed every week, 3 times a day, 3 times a week, and everything, and then you stopped. Why'd you stop?
I left. I went to school, to Boston University School for the Arts,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people. I was accepted on a grant award, and I'd gone to a girls' boarding school before that, and I was a big fish in a little pond. And felt really phenomenal in that moment. That's what I did. I was in boarding school. I was in Connecticut. I grew up in Virginia, in Charlottesville.
Mm-hmm.
I ate, I slept, and studied. That's what I did. And I did music all the time, and went to BU. And quite frankly, I wasn't ready for that pressure. It was good to get in. It was so exciting to be on a grant award. I was musical theater, but I went for classical drama. And they were number 2 under Juilliard. So of course I'm thinking, well, this is great. I should go here. I wasn't aware of what I was up against because it's Shakespeare, it's raised text, it's Moliere. It's things that I wasn't prepared for because I was Godspell and, Bye Bye Birdie, and singing Barbara Streisand and classical choir and part of an a cappella singing group. So my world was over here, but classical theater performers don't always look at musical theater performers with a ha-ha moment. They look at them as a poo-poo moment. And so I walked away, and I pigeonholed myself in classical drama. And at BU, you were watched. You were watched through a microscope for 2 years, and they can ask you to leave after the second year. So they bring
Wow.
about 6,000 people. They brought 23 of us in. And I'm sure now that I look back at it, it's 2 per type. So acting type, actress
Mm-hmm.
or actor type, whether you're a comedian or you're drama, so on and so forth. And even though at the second part, all of us were under a tremendous amount of stress, I found out that they were going to keep me. I literally buckled. I literally buckled under
No.
the stress, and very few people know this about me, so I don't discuss it very often. But I buckled under the stress, and at the end of it, I left. And
Oh.
yeah, you know what, Nikki, it was an ugly moment because that's all I knew from age. I want to know from since I could remember was 9 years old, 8 years old, all the way up until my sophomore year in college. And I worked so hard for those auditions. I worked so hard when I was there, but the pressure of it's constant. People are constantly looking at you and analyzing you, and um, uh, uh, you know, at the end of every quarter, you've got all of the teachers there, and they're literally knocking you with questions and not just questions, telling you what's good, what's bad, and ugly. And I wasn't prepared, and that's honest. And so, long story short, when I left Boston, I was about 130 pounds, and I ballooned up to over 220 pounds. I left
Oh
acting.
wow.
So it's going back to Sherry. When you leave what you love, it's interesting how you try to fill those little nooks and crannies with things. I filled it with food, and I didn't know anything about fitness at the time. And I filled it. I mean, there were times I'd eat a whole medium pizza with extra cheese, hamburger, and onions, I believe, were my thing. The people knew my name. I mean, I don't eat pizza now, but they knew my name at the pizza.
Wow.
I know this is the part of me that you don't know. Ice cream, Ben and Jerry's. I mean, it's just things I did. Not that Ben and Jerry's is bad for you. I just not a pint a night. So right. So I went from 130, a little over 220 to 230. Wow, what a moment. And I stopped performing, Nikki. And the very thing that was me, and that was the dark side. That was the dark moment. I went from Boston. I moved down to stay with my cousin in Orlando, and that's where I met my first coach, Sue Moon, who taught me about the grind, what it really takes to get your body in shape and take care of the machine. So that's why
Wow.
I stopped, because I couldn't. I just wasn't engineered to handling the pressure. And so the message that I send to mothers and fathers out there, um, is simply this: whatever your child wants to be, support them, because it really does matter that you have that at home. Period. Um, I desperately needed support around me during a time that was very, very challenging and very scary. And sometimes your stronghold isn't always, you try to have it in your heart, but sometimes you learn that from family, and it's so valuable, so important. And so the message to family and to friends is support the people around you, give them love, and lift them up even in their darkness. Say all the things that are important to help them um, become the best version of themselves in whatever they choose to do. So, okay.
Nice.
Oh, yes, Tom. I can't hear you. You're muted, Tom.
Got it. Okay. Wow. That is a huge wow.
I know
That's
you didn't
amazing,
know.
Kat.
Nobody knows about that side. Sorry.
Right. All right. Well, you have a great comment and a question in the chat. Jimmy Castro says, "Okay, that was then. This is now. Any chance for a verse of "Summertime" a cappella for a new fan of that unique voice?"
Oh yes.
Oh, now you're really pulling it. Let's see.
See, I was thinking the same thing, but I was like,
Oh, now you guys are killing me. Yes, I will. Let me ponder the thought for a second, and let me actually. That's good. That's when you're live and you go, you know what? Let me think. Let me think. Let me think. Ask me a question, Nikki, and I'm going to go through "Summertime"
all right,
because I got to
I'll
see the
ask.
key that I can sing it in a cappella.
All right, got you. Okay, my next question:
Yep.
if you could be anything in the world other than Cat Beach, as we know you today, what would that be and why?
Wow. That's a
Well,
good
I give you time to think about that. I'm gonna tell you what I think.
question.
What is why are you laughing?
No, that's great because I was thinking there's so many things that are going through my mental spectrum. Go, yeah. What do you think?
It's a legitimate comment, ma'am. Thank you very much.
It is. That's
When
what you.
when I see you, you have so much compassion and so much love in your heart. I see you as a veterinarian. I know, right?
I,
I
you
well,
know
you
what?
gotta be able to spell to be a veterinarian. But I can
Oh,
see you. I can see. Well,
yeah.
but you can have to write really well, so you can probably pull it off. But I can see because you have so much in your heart for just people and animals and everything and everybody that I literally can see you
I would,
doing that.
if I could handle blood,
Oh, I forgot about that.
yeah, I could do it. But truth is, I love so many animals except for snakes and spiders. And spiders aren't animals. I understand that, but okay.
They're somebody's pets. They keep them
Yeah,
in little cages and
I
stuff.
like spiders. Um, gosh, yeah, or like no joke, a social worker.
I can see that.
I feel I'd like to say therapist, but I might go completely crazy. I don't know. If I could be
I don't
anything
know
else,
though, Kat. As a social worker, I think because you have so much love in your heart and you have so much compassion, you'll probably bring all of that home with you every single day. You
yeah, you're right.
know?
That would go south very quickly.
I think with the animals, you could, if you're looking for a plan B, a fallback,
Yes, I could have
that's it
all
right
the
there.
flat-faced animals in the world.
The flat? Why they gotta just be flat faced? You could be like
I,
Snow White and have everything around you, singing and frolicking and laughing and playing and stuff.
oh, like you have birds. Tweet, 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 tweet. I'm in Pekingese and Pugland. What's wrong with you? And British short hairs and
I do love
Persians.
pugs. They're really
Yeah,
cute.
they're
I do
adorable.
love pugs. Yes, because the pug
Well,
is like the short-haired version of the Pekingese, right?
absolutely.
Kind of, sort
I
of.
always say Pekingese are like oh heck, the hippie version of a pug.
That makes sense.
I know. What
Are you
other
ready?
questions are coming through?
Are you ready to sing yet, or am I still asking questions?
I've got to sing. Okay, let me see if
Don't
I
act.
have.
Don't. Don't act like we're gonna forget. Fall back, player.
No, no. Hold on, I got to think.
Okay.
Summertime and the living is. That's low. Summertime and the living is easy.
Yes.
Oh, the fish are jumping and the cotton is high. Oh, your daddy's rich and your ma, she's good. She's good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing. You're gonna spread your wings and you'll take to the sky. But until that morning, there just ain't nothing can harm you. With Daddy and Mammy standing by. That's as impromptu as it gets.
That was awesome.
Did I eat
I
crow
love
on
that song. No, I actually love that song. You did a great job. It's very mellow and smooth.
That's as impromptu as it's going to get, peeps. Since I didn't get to warm up or try to find the actual key.
Right, and
there's
then I distracted you with my question.
No, but there's some parts of it, and Tom's heard this. There's wonderful ways of, and you've heard. I don't know if you've heard it, but there are wonderful ways of bending the chords. One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing. There are wonderful ways of playing the song when you're warmed up and having a good time with it. You're
That's
gonna
awesome.
spread your wings. I know.
You sound great. I think we have another question.
Well, you got a compliment from Jimmy Castro. He said, "I said unique, didn't disappoint, and thanks."
Jimmy,
Aw.
listen. Thank you, because that was as unique. I wasn't planning on singing tonight, honey.
Got a compliment from Tom Vernon, of course, and I actually
Thanks,
have a
Vern.
question. Actually, there was a couple comments here during that whole thing. Um,
Okay.
Tom
Now I feel
kind of
excited.
relate. Well, Tom kind of related to the not getting support from family members when I told them I wanted to be a DJ. They shunned me. So a lot of creative people are not getting the support they need as they're coming up, and so that's something we need to do is support creative people when they're at their vulnerable, when they're like really young. They need that support. That's why we need to support the arts. It's not useless. It's not meaningless. It's definitely something we need to support the young
Yeah.
artists. But
So important.
Very true.
there was another comment. They want to know where Precious is. Tom asked where Precious is. And Bets Wilson asked a great question. Kat, what advice would you give anyone who wanted to follow their dreams?
So Bets and I, hi Bets, honey. Um,
I bet.
yeah, Nikki says hi too. Um, Bets and I've had lots of conversations about this, and the hardest part of following your dream is actually being very clear about what it is. That's the first part. Um, being honestly, guys, being fearless, because it takes being fearless about your dreams. It takes being able to fall, like in the song "When." You get knocked down once, you get back up again. It's sometimes you get in debt. Let's be honest. When you're following your dreams, there are things that happen. You have to prove yourself first. So in some cases, you become in horrible debt while you're trying to prove yourself. Sometimes you're in emotional debt trying to prove yourself. Um, you have to be fearless in your motives. Everything you do, you have to. People say it and you hear it all the time. Challenge your balance, and it's uncomfortable because I'm just going to curse. Damn it, it's scary. Okay, I don't want to curse, but I'm just going to curse today. Yeah, right. Punch it out. It's scary to get in the ring and keep punching. So what do I mean by that? So imagine a ring where people are boxing. There are people on the outside just looking and watching you box, and then there are people who are in the ring and they're dukes up and they're throwing punches. And that when you're following your dreams, you have to continuously throw punches. And you have to be willing to take one in the nose, get knocked down, bleed, and get back up again. And then you have to throw another punch, and you're going to whack in the forehead, and you're going to fall down. You have to get up, shake it off, and start punching again. And it's scary because sometimes you just go, I got to take a moment. I got to jump off onto the outside of the ring. And there are times when you have to go on the outside of the ring because you got to breathe for a second. But if you stop getting back in the ring, that is when you fail, and that is when you can kiss your dreams goodbye. So you must always jump back in the ring, always throw a punch. I'm not saying physical, but just let's go with this analogy because that's my life has been that. Matter of fact, it's and it's in my case, dream wise, it's like what at the end of my life when I'm there in my bed saying goodbye, am I willing to go, oh gosh, I wish I had? And that's not a joke. That sits in my head. That is not a joke. And I don't know, in my 20s, maybe I didn't think so much about that, but I'm in my, past my 20s now. and I do think about that. Am I willing to say, gosh, I could have, I should have, but it got a little tough, and everybody knows, or not everybody, but some people know I'm not married, and that's been an issue because I've been such a go 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 person in my business world that I didn't really take the time to do it. I don't have kids, and I love kids, and all of these little elements and these pieces that are so valuable and important to me, but I put them over here because this over here said something. I'm supposed to be here for this reason. Whoever sent me here, I'm supposed to be here for this reason. Whoever sent me here, I'm supposed to be here for this reason. That's what constantly rolls in the back of my head. And even on those days when and believe you me, yeah, I'm nominated for awards. I've gotten awards, all this good hoorah. I still wake up in the morning and I go through those moments like, okay, shake it off, Kat. You got this. Just get up, have a cup of coffee, go outside, walk. Precious.
Oh, that's cute.
So that there's that answer, Bets. And by the way, Bets is, and Nikki will agree with me on this, Bets is a tremendously talented photographer. There are
yes.
few people few
Yes.
people, and might add, the person that you guys may not be able to see right now is Tom Schaefer, tremendously talented photographer. And I've worked with both of them over the years. And I will tell you something, in photography, it's not always the technique. It's really the eye that you have. And both you,
True.
Tom, and Bets, what you see, I don't know about you, Nikki, but when I look through a lens, I'm like, oh, let's just snap this picture. I don't know how you see what you
Yes.
see. But have you seen some pictures sometimes, Nikki, that you go,
Yes.
how did
Matter
they
of
see
fact,
that?
my coworker Kim Harbor,
Yeah.
she has the eye for that too. She took like pictures of the sunrise one morning when we were at work the other day, and I was like, "How do you see this?" And I see the same thing, and she's like, "I took pictures until I got what I liked," and I was like, "That's just crazy."
Yeah.
So I
Look,
totally understand the creative process behind it. I get it. I
yeah.
get it.
That burning thing. They got that. Oh, look behind you. See what's behind Tom? Was that Easter? Was that the Easter? He took that too. Oh, look at this.
Cute.
Can
I want to
people
do
see this,
that.
Tom? Tom, can people see this?
No. It's. I'm just messing around with my background.
Oh, but can people out there see these pictures that are watching us?
They can go. They can actually go to my website. You can see them there. I've got them all there on TommyShutter.com. I've got a gallery section.
TommyShutter.com. Go see
Yeah,
it.
you can
These
go.
are great photos from Miami. That's
That's
Miami
awesome. Okay, here's my
Miami
next
is what we call a target-rich environment. There's just a lot to shoot there. It's just everywhere where you look, there is something to shoot down there. It's an amazing town.
Beach.
That's hilarious. I love it.
I'm still
How
trying
many?
to get over the fact that I had to sing Summertime. Thank you.
That's awesome. And the internet has it now for them to go back and look at it whenever they want to. It's awesome.
It sounded better in person. It
How
sounded
many
better when I had to
albums?
rehearse.
How many albums have you done?
I've done one full album in Los Angeles called Love Me Out Loud. And then I have done, 12 singles or more. Except for the
Love Me Out Loud. Is
Love
that the
Me
one
Out
that my
Loud.
song is on? Risk Me?
Yeah.
That is my favorite song that you've done. Find it, y'all. Risk Me. You'll love it.
Risk Me. Yeah, I love it. Trust me, it's not that high. It's down. Yeah, that's a beautiful. Yeah,
I
you know
love
what?
that song.
That album came off of a tremendously challenging point in my life that I'm just proud that I made it through. That way, I came out of panic disorder. Tom Schaefer knew me during this time, and it was everything I had. And Tom, it was interesting for Tom because I found faith during that time, and Tom has faith, but I was really into Christianity at the time, and instead of just knocking on that, like, Cato, come on, don't go to church on Wednesday, and so he 100% supported me going through this process of needing to find something bigger than me, so that I was okay, that I felt I was going to be okay. It was a challenge, and so I would come home from church and I would write music. Mercy of Your Hands was after church, and that's on the album. There were things I would go in church and literally cry. I just sit and cry the whole time. Ooh, cry. Come home and pick up my guitar, and I would just write and write. And matter of fact, Tom has gotten video of me from 2004 all the way through that whole process. It was pretty interesting. So that album was not meant for radio. It was meant to be cathartic, and it was meant to be transitional for me and for people who were going through panic disorder and PTSD. So all the other ones, like My Picker's Busted. My picker's is so damn rusted. Yeah, that was very that was country. That's as country as I got.
That's a funny song too.
That was
What is your favorite song that you've written? You did.
My picker has been busted for several decades. Anyway, so
I wasn't going to say anything, but yes.
Why just be honest? We're here to be honest. Any other questions in the chat room that came through that we didn't see, Mr. Tom Schaefer?
It says, there's a few comments. Let's see here. Beth said, love you for the shout out. This is why you are so unique. You always share and lots of love. Lay
Aw.
Manuel
Love
says,
that.
Kat, you're always involved in multiple projects. What are you currently working on? So you got to mark that one down. Um, always great work from James Michael Miller, which I guess was Sherry. Um, and then Sherry said, music always releases pain and depression, gives us strength, strength again. Great work. We are proud of you, Kat. So I guess the question was, what kind of projects are you working on now?
What are we working on now? We're working on what we're doing right now, Nikki and I. This is one. CatSpan. Um, Interesting. I took a little bit of a back seat on "Don't Panic, You're Not Alone," which was it's something that it's in the works, and it's very, very valuable, very, very important to me. And it is it's a performance art piece, and it's going to um, it's a culmination of all of the different elements of my anxiety and panic disorder over the years. Um, it's got music, it's got acting, it's got every element of what I've done in a little bit of seminar work too. And so I'm working on that little by little by little as we launch this, um, because I want people to understand, since anxiety, panic, and PTSD are massive, not just in America, in the world today, because we're constantly berated with too many things. The brain can't handle as much as we're asking it to handle, and many people are hooked on benzodiazepines, which are Xanaxes and Valins and those type of things. Um, we have a group of human beings who are living in fear, and in this particular performance, I want to show you, for those of you who do not experience it, maybe are family members of people or are friends of people, I want you to feel what it is. What does that fear look like in dancing? What does it look like in singing? All throughout the entire performance, you see me continuously sitting in every other scene on a gigantic yellow velvet couch. And it's your choice. Am I talking to a therapist? Am I talking to God? Am I talking to Buddha? Who am I talking to? Because you're going to hear a voice in between talking to me, and I'm talking to it. You choose as an audience. Whatever you choose, I never will ever put faith on anybody. It's up to you. It's your choice. Um, it is not up to me to, and I don't think it is up to anybody to push our belief system on them. But this performance, you will walk away from it going, whoa,
Wow.
this is how it feels to go through the process. This is how it feels to make it through a day and bleed through the day. Sorry, something came up on my screen, or came up on my screen. Don't panic, you're not alone. It is there so people understand, you're not alone, and there are millions of people going through it. There are millions of people, by the way, for those of you listening today, that are staring up at the ceiling at 3 o'clock in the morning, and they're wondering, they woke up with a panic attack, or they or have severe anxiety, and they woke up for whatever purpose, and they're staring at the ceiling going, can I make it through? Can I make it through? So when you wake up tonight or tomorrow, I want you to know you're not alone. There's something to be said in that. It's sad, but at the same token, I want you to know that there's that drip around you that says, hey, you're not alone in this. And so the reason I want to do the show is so that people understand what it feels like. And I don't want you just to hear a seminar. I don't want to talk at you. And I've done many seminars on panic and anxiety disorder, but I want you to feel it. I want you to know what gigantic chains feel like on your body, because that's what panic attacks and panic disorder feel like.
Wow.
So that's what I'm working on in the back right now, and I'm excited about it.
Sounds deep. Can't
it's
wait
deep,
for
girl. Isn't it? You can't wait for it. You're gonna be in it. Yeah. You're like, Kat, I would not
Oh,
knock you out,
whoa.
Kat.
All right, settle down.
You know what I never do, because I don't hold back, Kat.
Right.
You know what I never do is I never give a shout out to my music. You can always find my music, all of it, from Love Me Out Loud to Win, to Get After It, Go to Work. It's on my website at catbeach.net. That's CATBEACH.net. Everything is there. There are a boatload of blogs on health and wellness, because that's obviously the side of my life. There are all of my music's on there. Videos, there will always be these links. And another project we're working on right now, and I completely forgot to mention it, shame on me, is Nashville in the round, on the road. And we're excited to take what we have in Nashville as kind of at the Bluebird Cafe and standard Nashville is people singing in the round. We're going to take it on the road and actually show how a song goes from being in the round to a full production. And
Nice.
lots of, isn't that neat, Nikki, to like nooks and crannies across the nation, so they get a little taste of what we have every day in Nashville. I didn't realize that people didn't have that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So
Can't
lots
wait
of things are in the works.
Yeah, you're super busy. What you got? Like you sleep like what, 2-3 hours a day most?
3 if I'm lucky, 4 on a good day.
See,
Yeah, you should talk, Missy Patissy.
I get more sleep than you.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. I
I
always
know.
call you and wake you up.
Yes, you do. Yes,
Like,
you do.
Shame on you, Cat Beach. Shame on you. Did I have
What
any
would
other questions that I didn't answer on that, Tom? That I thought I wrote them down. Got my pen.
There was that I think you've covered really well. There was another question here from there's a new person in the chat room. GNC McGowan asks, "How has your training helped you?"
Oh, it has been my cornerstone. Okay, so I will say through every element, every piece of my life, from when I found fitness to going to Miami and going through the whole process of getting back into music. I went and getting back. I went to school for broadcast and going through all these elements. It's not, and it's interesting because I learned. And wait, who was that? Because I'm about to bring up Garrett. Who is it? Who is it that's speaking? Who asked the question? You're muted.
Sorry about that. That was a person whose name is GNC McGowan.
There we go. It's Crystal and Garrett. Yay! I'm glad they came on to ask that question. Hi, you guys. Two extraordinary people. That's Crystal and Garrett McGowan. And Garrett was my original coach, and I've worked with Crystal on many occasions. If you want to know people who truly understand the art of changing a human body, and the art of keeping it in every single day, no matter what, that's Crystal and Garrett. And I will say that Garrett said to me once, this was great, it's coming to mind because this is going to answer the question very well. He said, Kat, I don't care if you get a call that the house is burning down, get your workout in.
wow.
Then deal with it. Now, of course, he would mean that, but basically what he was instilling in me early on in my workout career, because the one through line, this is the one thing that very few people know, it's been a through line from 1996 all the way through today. It has been my through line. And how has it helped me? It's been the one thing that when things are going wrong, when the world feels like it's coming undone, that's why I said to Sherry, get out there and walk. Because if you can't, at that point, when you're that depressed, you can't pump iron. But pumping iron has been the one thing that has kept me. That's why I use the analogy, get in the ring, punch. It's the physicality, it's the powering out, even when you feel like you are at your absolute weakest, believe it or not, as Garrett used to say, it's you and the iron. The gym is the great equalizer. This is my favorite part. I remember this. It's coming back to me right now as I'm speaking. The great equalizer. Doesn't matter how much money you have or don't have, if you are homeless or you're a multi-billionaire, when it comes to the gym and you're dealing with iron and steel, whatever it is now, it's you. It doesn't matter what you have. It is the great equalizer. How much can you handle and how can you handle it? And it goes further into that. But I will tell you, it has been the one thing that has kept me from falling off the edge. So for all of you guys out there who are fighting through depression, anxiety, panic, addiction, if you can find your way into the addiction of the gym, the actual getting in there and pumping iron and making that part of your day, no matter what, you will find your life. Everybody, everybody has their thing. So there's going to be an addiction, but that should be something that is part of your life always. It has. So the answer to you, Crystal and Garrett, is it has saved my life. It is the one thing that has saved my life, because addiction is all over my family, and it's all over. Every root of my family has it. And so I have had to fight it my entire life. And the one thing that has kept me in the game, being healthy, and it's the reason I have to follow through all the way, is cardio second, weight training first. And that's, I know, right? Weight training. Because I just saw Garrett and Crystal falling out, right? She did not say. but it's the one thing that keeps you powerful. If you want to be powerful, if you want to be able to power through your day, if you want to be successful, you've got to have a machine that says I'm successful. You've got to have a machine that says I got this. And the only way you're going to have a machine that says that is if you get in the gym, you pump iron, and you do your cardio. And don't be afraid. This would be something that I know Garrett and Crystal would say to everybody. Do not be afraid of getting into the iron pit. We all sit, if you're going to do your cardio, that's wonderful for your heart, but you got to get into the weight training. It has changed my life. It has dramatically changed the trajectory of my life, because I promise you, had I not met Garrett, and had I not worked with Crystal, I would not have, and they are, by the way, in North Carolina. And I will put, they have an iron house in North Carolina. I'll put a link on my Facebook. Had I not met Garrett during a time that was tremendously tragic in my life, I never would have learned the discipline of it. And so I'm going to let you all know. So that the answer of it saved my life. So if you really want something that's going to save your life, get in the gym, people. Weight training. And I will tell you this, and it did not work, Garrett, because I still am late. But he used to say every morning when I would come in to train, decorate the hardwood beach, $10 on the desk. Even if I was 1 minute late and I bought him lunch, I can't tell you how many days I bought him lunch, because you don't say, no, I'm not going to give you $10, because that was the deal. You're on time. 1 minute late was common for 6 a.m. in the morning. Anyways, yeah, shame on me. It still hasn't worked, but I will tell you, it sticks in my head. And it shows you discipline, the discipline of what it takes to succeed. You want to learn discipline, get your behind in the gym, and you're going to learn discipline. And it's the same discipline to succeed in any craft. So that's how it's helped. That was the short and long, or the long and short of it. Are there other questions?
Yes, there are other questions or other remarks. One question, if you got, we're getting close to wrapping here too.
Oh, okay.
But you have one question if you want to do it, and then we also have a comment. So and I know the answer to this, but Jimmy Castro is kind of interested. He says Cat Beach is a great artist name. I'm thinking it's not your real name, but might be wrong. If not wrong, where did that name come from? And the question from Bets Wilson, from James Michael Miller, which I guess is Sherry.
Mm-hmm.
What song gave you the most growth? So you got your name, and what song gave you the most growth?
He's correct. My name is Catherine. My name is Catherine Beach. And where did I get that? Oh, I was back in high school. I was doing a huge amount of musical theater, and it was one of my coaches. I'm trying to think, it was Doreen or Coach Silverhurst. Either my dance or my drama coach said, let's shorten it to Cat, because Cat Beach is catchy and it's memorable. Which
it is.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look on, Google, you put Cat Beach in, and you see every cat on a towel on the beach ever. How's that for memorable?
Yeah, the first time I Googled that was hilarious.
What is that?
So the first time I Googled that was hilarious.
I know, you're like, whoa.
Right.
And so the other question was, which song has helped me the most?
Which song gave you the most growth?
Road. You're given road. You're given
Really?
road. Yeah. Isn't that wild?
It is.
The most emotional growth I've ever had. I came back from church, and I am proud to say I'm a Christian. Yes, I chant and I do Buddhist chants because that centers me and helps me with my anxiety and panic. But I am a Christian, and I came back from church. Um, Actually, Tom, you were there during this time, I do believe. I think you remember. Yeah, Tom remember. He says no, but he was there. I was so I had just been saved, and wow, it was a whole new world for me. And I had done an altar call and all of that, and I had found just this deep guttural understanding that I had strayed too far away from my given road. Um, and the song, Holy Toledo. I talk about the altar call and I completely come undone. Wowzers.
Wow.
Um, I had found that I had strayed too far away from what was my given road, which was performing and singing, and I had stopped, as I told you, and become so afraid of my own reflection, not just visually. I'm just talking about me. You get too far into performing. You get too far into the deep, dark, challenging side of that, and it can tear you apart because it's judgmental. Acting is and auditions in that world can tear you apart. And I strayed too far away from it when I fell off of all of that. It destroyed me, and I came back from church, and I wrote Your Given Road, and it is the simplest song I've ever written. And I sat with Ned, and it says, it don't matter how low. Oh wait, I could do the whole low you go. It don't matter how low you go. Don't stray too far away from your given road. That's just one.
Wow.
And
Get you here.
mm-hmm. All of us have that thing that we love and we want to get to, and we're scared to get to, and we try to find that fearlessness. And I can always say to you, believe in something bigger than you. Believe in what you cannot see, and find that little thing inside of you that says, yes, I can, yes, I can, yes, I can, yes, I can. So Your Given Road was that. And matter of fact, I hope you all go listen to it because it's been a while since I have, but that's the one that helped me the most. It helped me heal, and it reminded me that no matter how dark it gets out there, you have some light in you. And sometimes you're just looking for that light under the door, and just keep looking. So I get all yucky eyed, sorry, when I talk about this, but there's a message in that, which is for a lot of people. Again, no matter how dark it gets and how scary and how much you judge yourself and what you think you're doing wrong or what you think you're doing right, find faith, whatever you call faith, find it. Hold on to it tight and believe in you, believe in your self-worth. And that's what Your Given Road gave me, an understanding of my self-worth again. So that's that. Sure.
Wow.
Sorry, Nick, you get me. I'm all booty hootied.
You're fine.
I feel like I had some very special people on today. To have Crystal there, to have Garrett there, Sherry there, Beth is there. Wait, who else have I missed? It was Mark there.
You got Tom Vernon as well.
Tommy Vernon.
Garrett,
Sorry,
friend
Tom.
Garrett, Jimmy Castro.
Jimmy.
Sherry.
I'm sorry. I just got all emotional and I forget half of my brain. It's been.
Charge it to your head, not your heart.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry. Any other questions coming in?
Do you want to sing any? Do you want to sing Your Given Road? Do you feel up to it, or do you need a guitar and you need all the stuff?
I could do it a cappella, but it'll get me all teary-eyed right now. That
Okay.
I'm talking about.
Well, you know what? You're gonna owe your listeners. You know what? And they do need to go check it out on her music. It is one of the most powerful songs. It's about, I guess, the interpretation I always got about was staying on path with your inner calling. You know.
Yeah.
Amen. That's very true. because it's important. No matter how tough it is, it's important to stay there.
Well, you got some great comments in the chat. You'll have to go check it out after we get done. So
this has been great. Hey, Nikki, thank you for doing this, because this scared the heck out of me. And thank you for everybody who showed up.
Yes, thank you for letting us ask you all these questions and answering all the questions truthfully. And I know some of it was deep for you and some of it may have been painful, but we as your people appreciate that you took the time to let us ask you what we want to know.
I love you. You guys are great.
Oh, I love you too. Oh.
It was uncomfortable, but okay. No, the uncomfortable was the summertime singing. I wasn't prepared, but okay.
That was funny. I love that. I wasn't prepared either because I was going to ask if I didn't, but I'm glad somebody else did because I wanted
great.
to.
You get to blame it on somebody else.
Right.
I'm a little rusty in my acapella, but I'll go with it. Sometimes you just got to do whatever comes out.
Yes, do what the people ask you because the people want what the people want.
Exactly. Except for me singing You're Giving Road. That's not happening tonight. But I'll do it again in one of our living room sessions with my guitar.
Oh, that'll be good. I should come over.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. We'll have
right?
unplugged session. And Nikki and Kat singing. Love you guys.
Thank you all for tuning in. Please go back and rewatch it if you need to.
And subscribe, you guys. Subscribe to
subscribe.
Come on now. You got to subscribe. Like us on Facebook, catbeach.net. Come on.
Yep, catbeach.net. Come and listen to the music. CatSpan. Subscribe.
Buy my records.
Share it.
Buy my records. Buy my albums. Put money in the tip jar.
Buy my album. I'm never good at this promotion.
I have a good friend here in where I live, and he gets up on stage and he says, "Put some effing money in the tip jar."
Yeah, that's what I should say. We don't have a tip jar though.
Well, it's coming.
Subscribe. That's our tip jar is subscribing.
That's right.
Yes, there we go.
That's right.
And share
Please
it, you
subscribe.
guys. Because you know what, there might be something that I said today, or that Tom said, or Nikki said, or the questions that were asked that somebody may want to know about. So share it on your page. Love you guys so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we'll be back next week. We're going to be back with Lydia Ogie in about 2 weeks. I think Lydia is going to come in. She was a Broadway performer and a singer, and we're excited to have her on. And next week's the surprise.
That's going to be great. See you all then.
You betcha. Love you guys.
Until next time.
Thanks for joining us on CatSpan. We had a blast and we thank you for all your questions. Come hang with us next week. Same time, same station.
We play the game to win. We refuse to lose. And we only get stronger and stronger. We're gonna dig deeper and deeper. We play the game to win.